Now it's time for our special guest and part 4 of our interview with Miss Carol Sloane. Tell me, were you a disc jockey once upon a time?
Well, I was. It started when I was living in North Carolina, and a friend of mine was the station manager. Anyway, so I went out there, and of course I didn't know anything about how to run a board or anything. I wasn't asked to do that. So I had a producer. I'd pick out the tracks, and he would play them, and I would announce them. So then when I came to Boston, after I got married, a friend of mine, disc jockey who'd been on the air for ages up here, he knows that I'm in the area, asked me to sub for him live. So I still didn't know how to run a board. I had no idea, but I didn't say no. I went into WGBH, and they gave me some kind of rudimentary instruction on how to push this button and do this and that. Of course, I screwed up a few times. I was mostly terrified that I was going to just throw the station off the air somehow. I was going to push the wrong button for sure. Anyway, so I did this sub. I subbed for 2 weeks, and I had a wonderful time doing it. I really had just a wonderful. I mean, I played a lot of great stuff, and my husband would meet me at 5 after the show was over, and he'd had a cocktail. He'd get a drink for me in the car. I say I played such great music tonight. Yeah. So anyway, that's all that. And then shortly after I was up here. NPR affiliate in Worcester, Massachusetts, which is an hour away from me here. It was about an hour west from here. Offered me a slot. And so I would get in the car every day, drive an hour to get over there, and I'd get over there around noon because I wanted to make sure I was picking out things I wanted to play and, preparing a show every day. So I was there for a long time. And then I would do my show live, and I stayed there for 2 years until the driving back and forth became just a little bit weird. I was always on a major highway, and I'm doing 75, 80 miles an hour coming along, and people are passing me.
Wow.
So I said, I don't think this is the way I want to spend. I come home, my darling husband, he would hand me a martini and have fixed dinner. It was such a deal. And I would just be still flying high because of the music I'd played, but a little bit tired, a little stressed out a little bit. But I did that for 2 years, and then I decided that stress was a little bit too much because I'm getting to be an old woman here,
You don't sound like it. You don't sound like it at all. You're right on.
I have a high energy level, but I think that's part of my genes. My mother had the same thing. She was high energy too.
All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I want to lose them, then you can have my arms. I'll never use them. Your goodbyes left me with eyes that cried. How can I ever make it without you? Well, you got the part that once was my heart. So why not? Why not take all of me, one of me? Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? You should take my lips, because I will never use them. Take my arms, I want to lose them. Your goodbyes left me with eyes that cried. How can I ever make it without you? You know that you got the part that once was my heart. So why not take all of me? won't you take all of me? Can't you see I am no good without you? I want you to take my lips, because I will never use them. Take my arms, I want to lose them. Your goodbyes left me with eyes that cry. How can I ever make it without you? You know that you got the part that once was my heart. So why not take all of, why not take all of, why not take all of, baby, take all of me.
Carol Sloane told me while she was growing up in high school, she would listen to disc jockeys play jazz and big band records at night, and then she would go down to the local record store the next day.
Well, you know, I'd go in there and obviously looking for something I'd heard somebody play on the air. So I would come in looking for, I don't know, whatever it was, Marion McPartland or Benny Goodman or anything that I'd heard that I felt intrigued. And I would come in, and the guy would say, "Oh, by the way, yeah, we've got that. Yes. Now, by the way, have you ever heard Ben Webster?" I said, "No, I don't think so." Well, take this into that booth over there and see what you think. And that was those days when you could play, you know. Mm-hmm. And I'd walk out of there. What was it? 98 cents for a shellac, a piece of 78.
Yep, 78s. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hot. I got $18 in my pocket. So I would come home. I would come home with all this stuff loaded down with all these things.
They're heavy too.
Yes, yes, they were.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how it started. So I was just becoming intrigued with this music, and these were the guys I would listen to until I just simply had to turn it off because I had to go to sleep and go to school the next day. Mm-hmm. But they taught me so much and made me so curious about the music that I've never lost that feeling of exploration. I really always want to know some new stuff. But the basis for my education was in swing. It was with Benny Goodman. It was with Count Basie. It was with Duke Ellington. It was with, when the small groups came along, it was with Miles Davis and Dizzy Gillespie and all of those guys who really enchanted me and still do.
Here's a Duke Ellington song that Carol Sloane recorded, Jump for Joy.
Fare thee well, land of cotton, cotton lollies out of style. Honey child, come on and jump for joy. Don't you grieve, little Eve. All the hound dogs, I do believe, have been killed. Ain't you thrilled? Jump for joy. Have you seen green pastures groovy? All the green pastures was just a technicolor movie. When you start up to heaven and you meet old St. Pete, tell that boy to jump for joy. Well, jump right in, give Pete some skin and jump for joy. Fare thee well, land of cotton, cotton lollies out of style. Honey child, come on and jump for joy. Don't you grieve, little Eve. I tell you the hound dogs, I do believe, they have been killed. Ain't you thrilled? Jump for joy. Have you seen green pastures groovy? All the green pastures was just a technicolor movie. And when you start up to heaven and then you meet old St. Pete, tell that boy to jump for joy. Well, jump right in, give Pete some skin and jump for joy. Well, jump right in, give Pete some skin and jump for joy. Well, jump right in, give Pete some skin and jump for joy.
Carol Sloane will be back with us next hour on BBS. Jim Stone with you on the all-new Big Band Swing. Let's return to our guest, Carol Sloane.
You've worked with Bill Charlap quite a bit.
Yes.
Do you know his mother, Sandy Stewart?
Of course, yes, of course, yes. She's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Yes, I'm thrilled because Bill, for a long time wouldn't play for any singers except his mother.
Really?
But he plays for me. You know, I called him 2 years ago. In fact, we talk at least 4 times a week. He calls me, and we start laughing all the time. I recorded with him many recordings with Bill. We worked together many times in nightclub situations long before he became the Bill Charlap. I met him when he was a kid. He was only 20 years old. We never have a piece of music on the stand when we do a live performance. He's got a piece of paper with some titles and some keys. And that's it. I called him a couple of years ago. I had been invited to sing as part of the Toronto Jazz Festival. Mm-hmm. But I said, look, Bill, I've got to go up and do this thing in Canada. He said, let me call you back. And he did. About 30 minutes later, he called me. He said, I'll do it with you.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's it. So then we also did it in New York as a duo. We have done it before. And he's asked me more than once to participate in the Jazz in July series at the 92nd Street Y. He's a scholar, you know. He's really not just a prolific, skilled, proficient jazz pianist, but he's also a scholar. I mean, he and Tony Bennett won that Grammy 2 years ago for the music of Jerome Kern, which he persuaded Tony to do. Tony wanted to do something, and Bill said, you know, Kern is the top of the tree. You really should do a whole album devoted to his music, which they did, and it's a lovely, lovely album. It's a beautiful album.
We could make believe I love you, only make believe that you loved me. This fine peace of mind in pretending. Couldn't you, couldn't I, couldn't we make believe our lips are blending in a phantom kiss, or 2 or 3. Might as well make believe I love you, for to tell the truth, I do. Make believe that our lips are blending in a phantom kiss, or 2 or 3. Might as well make believe I love you, for to tell the truth, I do.
From the album The Silver Lining, the songs of Jerome Kern, Tony Bennett, and Bill Charlap.
You recorded with Bill quite a bit, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lucky me. He's my good friend, and I adore him, and he adores me, and it's just love. It's really, and his mother, of course, I adore her too.
Here is Carol Sloane with Bill Charlap.
I took each word he said as gospel truth, the way a silly little child would. I can't excuse it on the grounds of youth. I was no babe in the wild, wild wood. He didn't mean it, I should have seen it, but now it's too late. I thought I found the man of my dreams. Now it seems this is how the story ends. He's gonna turn me down and say, can't we be friends? I thought for once I couldn't go wrong, not for long. I can see the way this ends. He's gonna turn me down and say, can't we be friends? Never again, I'm through with love, through with men. They play their game without shame, and who's to blame? I thought I found a man I could trust. What a bust, this is how the story ends. He's gonna turn me down and say, can't we be friends?
I thought I knew the wheat from the chaff. What a laugh. This is how the story ends. She's gonna turn me down and say, can we be friends? I knew it all the time. I acted like a kid out of school. What a fool. Now I see this is the end. She's gonna turn me down and say, can we be friends?
Why should I care, though he gave me the air? Why should I sigh, ever cry, and wonder why? I should have seen the single stop. What a flop. This is how the story ends. She's gonna turn me down and say, can't we be, 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 can't we be friends?
Oh, yeah.
Can't We Be Friends was from Carol Sloane's album With Clark Terry. Carol will be back. Now, let's return to our guest, Carol Sloane.
You have to let me know when that book comes out, when you publish it, because I got to get a copy of that.
Yeah, I think maybe. I hope you. Now I can go. See, when I get through Birdland, I mean, right now I'm all focused on the next 2 weeks and how to get down there, and all the mechanics that are involved. Which, as Phil Woods once said, people don't pay us to perform, to play horn or to sing. They pay us for the things we have to go through to get there, to be on stage. Because I've now got to figure I need to get this. Should the car come and pick me up? Get to which train should it be? Then I got to get to here, and then I got to do this. Then I have rehearsal. Then I got to do this. Then I want to go and see Russell Malone at the Vanguard. I don't know if I can do that. And I'm doing this, jamming this all into a weekend. and it'll be hot, and it'll be sticky and miserable, and everything's going to be awful. And I still got to be up here on stage like cool as a cucumber and happy to be there.
Yep, and you'll have
Which I will be.
You'll have a lot of fun doing that too, I'm sure.
I will. You have been so dear. You're so patient.
well-
you had no idea you're going to running into a buzzsaw, did you?
I love it. All this information is just beautiful. Thank you very much for all the time. What is your life like today?
Well, it's somewhat solitary, but then writing is what I'm really focusing on. I love to write, and I enjoy doing it, and that's what I do. But I read a lot, and I have friends, and I have projects, and writing the book, of course, now and again, and cooking, I love to do, but
Great.
not a lot, because I just dropped about 55 pounds, so I'm not cooking the ways I did before my husband passed away. That's okay. I still love to read cookbooks. They're fun to read.
And you make your home around Boston, is that it?
I live in a suburb just north of Boston. I'm about 12 miles from the center of Boston. It's quiet. I know my neighbors. I've been in this building for 30 years or more, so it's a place that I really enjoy being, and I had to downsize a bit, but I enjoy the space I'm in very much. I'm surrounded by my books and my friends and
your
my
music.
Red Sox.
And your music.
And certainly my music, for sure. Yeah.
Well-
How good you are. How nice of you to let me chat away like this.
It's been a pleasure. Carol,
you.
thank you for joining us, and have a great show at Birdland.
I'm doing my best.
Okay. You take care. Keep in touch.
Yes, I will. Yes, I
Okay.
will. Please keep in touch with me.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
Carol. Take care.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Play it once, Sam. Play it for old time's sake. Play as time goes by. You must remember this. A kiss is just a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. On that you can rely. No matter what the future brings, as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs, never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy, and hate. Woman needs man, and man must have his mate. That no one can deny. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory. A case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs, never out of date. Hearts full of passion, their jealousy and hate. Woman needs man, and man must have his mate. That no It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Once again, thanks to Carol Sloane for being our guest. Be sure to check out our website for more information about her fabulous career.